What's up, good people? Welcome back to another episode of Undrafted Views. We're here. We talk sports from the sidelines, and today we're going to answer the question: can the Denver Nuggets and the Utah Jazz make it out of round one in the playoffs for the 2022 NBA season? Let's get into it.
So the Denver Nuggets finished last season 47-25 and were number 3 in the Western Conference with head coach Mike Malone. They were eliminated by the Phoenix Suns in the Western Conference semis, like swept. Do you have them coming out of the first round of the playoffs?
Yes, I do. I have this Nuggets team coming out of the first round of the playoffs. My only caveat, and I always have one, will be if they have to make sure they have the right spot in the 1 through 6, because I believe they'll make 1 through 6 for the Western Conference, but they have to make sure that they're paired up correctly, because if their first matchup is either with the Lakers or the Suns, it's probably going to be a wrap for them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And even with the Lakers, the times that the Denver Nuggets made it to the NBA Finals, they lost against the Lakers
Mm-hmm.
each time. So the Lakers, regardless of what their roster looks like, has been a struggle for the Nuggets to get past. So I think that if they're able to have the proper matchup in round one, any team outside of the Lakers and the Suns. And for me this season, the Warriors are a wild card. I still don't know what to expect from them, right? I know what we anticipate. I just don't know what I expect. So we'll see what that looks like. But yeah, I believe they can make it out of round one.
Okay. I have them making it out of the first round of the playoffs as long as they can get Jamal Murray back 100% by December. I mean, anything other than that, I don't know. They might be going home early. Now, the cool thing is Jokic will want to defend his MVP trophy.
I don't blame him. And he should. And he should. You know
Exactly.
what's funny? You mentioned Jamal Murray, because I do believe Jamal Murray will be their X factor if they want to have a long playoff run. See, right?
Mm-hmm.
So making it out of the playoffs is fine. We know that they can do that because they were able to make it to the playoffs in the 2021 season without Jamal Murray. I mean, Jokic is nothing to be played with. So can they have great seeding or decent seeding in the Western Conference with Nikola Jokic running the court? Yes. Can they make it to the playoffs? Can they make it out of round one with Jokic? Absolutely, because they did it before.
Mm-hmm.
Without Jamal Murray, however, the deep playoff run is suspect because he is
Okay.
what was needed. Now, they made it work with Campazzo, they made it work with him. But at the end of the day, their X factor that helps push them a little bit further, drives, or moves the needle a little bit more for them, will be Jamal Murray. And he was truly missed when he went out. I mean, when I was like devastated. But even with him going out, they were still able to hold firm. So I say it's possible for them to make it out. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And part of the reason why they were able to hold it is because Michael Porter Jr. was fantastic in the playoffs. I mean, he started 54 games for them and averaged 19 points and 7 rebounds in the playoffs. He was like a shining star, hence why he was signed to his max deal. You know what I'm saying? Very recently. So hey.
Yeah. It's interesting. He became what they needed during the time Jamal Murray wasn't there, right? He almost became the second option, right? But we cannot discount the fact that they also had Aaron Gordon, who was really great, during that playoff run. And then Austin Rivers showed up in some critical clutch time during the Nuggets run in the postseason last 2021. So they have nice pieces, and hopefully now also Will Barton. Can he please be healthy? Because if he's healthy, but this is the thing about Will Barton. When I promise you every season he goes out around the end of the season, I want him to have a complete season where he is healthy and he can come into the postseason healthy. The healthiest he's been, right? And I think with that roster, the possibilities of them going deep, especially if Jamal Murray is there, they're going to be something to reckon with in the West. I can see it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to take the complete team to be healthy. Any injuries to their starting five will be questionable for them. Isn't that with any other team? So, yeah.
I actually have Will Barton as my forgotten hero.
He's
great on defense and he provides an offensive punch that they need that we really haven't been able to see,
Right.
for the full season.
Right. That's why I mentioned him. I think he plays a critical piece in the success of the Nuggets going deep into the postseason. They need their pieces, right? So yes, Nikola Jokic is going to do what he's going to do. We know that he's proven MVP. I mean, why wouldn't he be, right? We know that Jamal Murray is also one of the missing pieces that they did not have for a long term
Hmm.
postseason run. But Will Barton was also sketchy as well. So can you imagine? So you add their starting five, and if their starting 5 can be healthy and go into the postseason, they will have a deep run. The
Oh
Nuggets
yeah.
are just that great as a team, and their coach is no scrub. Their coach gets it done. So I like Mike Malone. I think that he knows how to use his pieces to get
Hmm.
them to be the most efficient that they can be. So yeah, the Nuggets will make it out of round 1. The question is, can they finally make it to the conference finals? And can they make it out of that? See, because me, that's the next step for them. Can they make it to the conference? Can they make it out of round 1? Yes. And matter of fact, they can even make it. Just can they make it out of the semifinals? See, that's where we kind of get a little sketchy with the Nuggets. And so if they can figure out what that looks like for them, I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, speaking of the Western Conference semifinals, as I mentioned earlier, they were swept by the Phoenix Suns. You think the Nuggets won't be hungry to get back at them? That was embarrassing. Nobody wants to get swept.
Nobody wants to get swept. You want to at least come up with one win,
I
at
mean, just
least
one.
one,
Yeah.
at least one. So yeah, no, it was horrible, especially with the outstanding play that Nikola Jokic put on. So yeah,
Hmm.
it's hard to take. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, let's talk about some of the notable transactions. I mean, we know the Denver Nuggets went ahead and opened up the purse for Michael Porter Jr. I think he earned it. I didn't know that he was a max deal player quite yet.
I know.
I didn't see that.
Oh man, I mean that 2000 and I want to say 18 draft class
Hmm.
making paper right now.
Yeah, they are.
They are doing it, yeah, but he deserved it. I think he did earn it. The postseason helped him earn his max contract. This
Uh-huh.
this early max contract. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Aaron Gordon, they got him for 4 years in 92. And
Yeah, I
then
heard
Austin
that.
Rivers, who was essentially out of the NBA, sitting at home, staying in shape, waiting for the call. He got his call last season, and then they re-signed him to a multi-year deal. Talk
And
about saving his career.
I know, but
Hmm.
again, you have to show improve. They brought him in what late in the season? Was it around
Hmm.
maybe April, May when they brought him in last season? So for him to be able to connect with their strategy and their scheme and then show up in times that were critical during the postseason really helped him get that extension.
It did.
If you stay ready, you just
Right.
got to get ready.
Exactly. They also added Uncle Jeff Green, excited about his addition.
So now that Paul Millsap is no longer on the Denver Nuggets, do you think that his particular role and production will be missed on their roster this season?
Not really. Now that they have Uncle Jeff Green, I don't see Millsap being missed at all. Plus, see, I don't think he really added much last season anyway.
Is he comparable to what Paul
Hmm.
Millsap was?
Yeah. I mean, Paul Millsap, what did he do? He came in, hit a couple of crucial three balls. I mean, Jeff Green is great on defense. He's
Jeff Green
quicker. I
is
think he's
great on
way more
defense.
athletic than Paul Millsap as well.
Mm,
So I
yeah,
think they won't miss it at all. Now,
yeah,
where they may miss a little athleticism is JaVale McGee.
yeah. I know. He's with the Suns
Uh-huh.
now. I know. I am concerned about that. So then what we're really looking at is Nikola Jokic playing 40 something minutes like he did before. Yeah, totally. I
Okay.
just don't know if Jermichael Green will be enough. And is it necessary that he is enough? I don't know. So we'll see how it all plays out. So
And he probably won't be. And so I'm expecting, Jeff Green to wear two hats. He
yeah,
plays center in Brooklyn. He could play center for the Denver Nuggets as well. So
true, true,
we'll see
true.
about that.
When I tell you that Jeff Green is a true journeyman,
He's been all
he
over the
has been
place.
all over the place. But again, I
Hmm.
would rather be all over the place than be out of the league. So,
Hmm.
you know, don't get your permanent residence wherever you go. Rent, lease without the option to buy because you just don't know where you're gonna be. But
Yeah.
yeah, he it's so funny how he he moves around so much. He has to be just that valuable. I guess you need players in the league that can be moved frequently. JaVale
Yeah.
McGee is another one. Like,
Hmm.
wherever you got a gap. Oh, let's get Jeff Green. Oh, let's get JaVale McGee. I know
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah Thomas wish he had that place.
Oh well,
You know,
yeah,
so
yeah,
it's not necessarily a bad thing to be a journeyman because you're still playing and you're still getting paid. So
right. I have the Denver Nuggets in my top 6 in the West. I mean, there are no bones about it. I think my top 6 are the Lakers, Suns, Utah Jazz, of course, the Nuggets. I have the Warriors in the top 6 and the Dallas Mavericks.
I have the same teams.
Do you?
Again, I do. I have the same teams, but the Warriors are still a wild card for me. I need to see them play, right? We know
Mm-hmm.
what we anticipate. As I said before, I just need to see them play again. So once I have the Warriors as well, which means that teams like the Clippers, teams like the Memphis Grizzlies, the Blazers, I don't know if the Blazers are going to be able to get in that last spot. The last, they get in right when right where they fit in. I don't see it happening this season. So not with the Warriors with their anticipated return. So yeah, I have the Nuggets in the top 6 as well.
So the Utah Jazz finished last season 52-20 under head coach Quinn Snyder. I mean, they had a great season. Weren't they first in the Western Conference?
Yes, number 1 in the Western Conference.
Do you see them getting out of the first round of the playoffs?
Yes, absolutely. I see them getting out of the first round of the playoffs. Again, we mentioned that they're part of our top 6. They're part of my top 6, and you said they're part of your top 6 as well. And I believe they will make it out of the first round. I think that after that, it's questionable. I wonder if teams have Rudy Gobert's number. Like, I wonder. Because if you think about this roster, they've been playing together for quite some time now, especially with the addition of Mike Conley. And I just wonder if did Rudy Gobert change or add elements to his game in the offseason that will help surprise other teams in how they utilize Rudy Gobert in the post. I just wonder if it's
Well,
going to be enough. I know he was Defensive Player of the Year. Actually, matter of fact, last season made his 3-time. He made it for 3, third time getting Defensive Player of the Year, and which is great. But I just wonder if it's enough for the Jazz to go deep in the playoffs. Just wonder.
mm-hmm. Actually, I'm unsure about the Utah Jazz making it out. I know that they are going to have a great regular season, but something about the postseason, they get all tripped up. I don't really have a lot of faith in them. Now, they are in my top 6, but I'm telling you, they can only get by, in my opinion, they can only get by the Dallas Mavericks. Everybody else has their number. And speaking of Rudy Gobert, I don't know that. Well, first of all, he's a traditional big, right? He doesn't play outside of the paint. And the Utah Jazz decided to bring Hassan Whiteside to add a little bit more depth. But again, he's traditional. He plays in the paint too. So I think that although the Utah Jazz clearly believe in Rudy Gobert and his ability and his defense, I don't think that he's enough to get them over the hump. And other teams, you're right, have his number.
I think they got it. I think they got it. I mean, again, I think that will be one of their trip ups, which will prevent them from getting out of round 1. I still think they can get out of round 1. Again, when I say a team getting out of round 1, it's going to always be based on the matchup, right? So if for some reason they happen to be matched up against Memphis Grizzlies, it's a possibility, right?
Yeah, of course.
It's a possibility, right?
Absolutely.
So it just depends on what the matchup looks like. But I think we know that they're a solid regular season team. We know that. And we also know they'll always make the playoffs because they've made the playoffs in the past 5 seasons. So the Utah Jazz, solid team. Good players. I don't know what that next step is for them. And one of my concerns will be what new things will Rudy Gobert bring? And I'm not saying he has to be the only one, but I will be looking for what he does differently for this upcoming season. That's one of the things I'm going to be watching for when it comes to the Utah Jazz. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know for sure the Utah Jazz are 0-2 in the preseason right now. They're not even taking the preseason serious. They are a regular season team completely,
You look at if you look on ESPN and like who's playing this game, everybody got an O next to their names. I'm like, at this point.
Yeah, they're not injured. They're just not. Like, you know what? I'm not even going to waste it. We are a regular season team, and we know when it's time to get to work. They're not even thinking about this little preseason.
We are a regular season team, and this team that we have, we've played together for almost 3 seasons. What additional players have they added to their starting lineup that's going to be different from last season?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I'm like, why play? Because why play? I've already been playing with these guys. So yeah, it's nothing new for them. I mean, 6 man of the year, Jordan Clarkson. I think that he can probably make a run for it next season. You know, he may be battling against Joe Ingles. I don't know, but you know, it's just yeah.
Yeah.
The Utah Jazz, they're a solid team. We know that regular season, this postseason, that's questionable. I get it. Yes.
So they re-signed Mike Conley to a 3-year, $72 million deal. They also brought over Rudy Gay from the San Antonio Spurs. I don't think he's going to move the needle much. He's going to add a little bit of depth behind Royce O'Neal. But even Royce O'Neal, I'm not convinced that, he's solid at his position. I'm not sold on him.
Yeah. Let's just be honest. The Utah Jazz is comprised of 3 people right now: Rudy Gobert, Donovan Mitchell, and Mike Conley. Right? Though. Oh, and I'm sorry. Then I have to add Jordan Clarkson, and I do need to add Joe Ingles because Joe Ingles is a great starter when he needs to be. We think
And
about it.
Bogdanovich.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. They have some good players. They do. We'll see.
Do.
What I can say is that I believe that the Jazz can beat any team once the postseason, the preliminary postseason and the postseason. The preliminary postseason is the playing tournament. I believe the Jazz can beat any team that's ranked 7 through 10. I think they can do that.
I don't know.
I think they can.
I'm not comfortable because the Memphis
Really?
Grizzlies, even the LA Clippers for that matter, I have them down there 7 through 10, and I'm unsure.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I just don't know. I don't know. Yeah. I say yes only because they've done it in the past, and I don't see why they would change that. But these teams are really good. Really good. And what we've noticed is that what you produce in the regular season sometimes doesn't unfold in the postseason. And even if you can get past the play-in tournament, which is maybe 1 or 2 games, once that 7-game series began, it's a whole different beast.
Oh, yeah.
It's a whole different beast. It's a whole different beast. And sometimes teams that are really, really great in the regular season struggle in the postseason to get past round 1. So
do you have the Utah Jazz being the first seed in the Western Conference?
No, not for the 2022 NBA season. Will they be top 6? I believe that. Will they be number 1? No. I don't know who number 1 will be. I just don't think that. I think the number 1 spot will be. I don't even know if the number 1 spot is even coveted.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
I really believe that as the season progresses and we get to the end of the season, I really believe teams they're starting to strategize what they want who they want to match up in the postseason. I believe that. Yeah, unless you, of course, are falling below 6, then that's different. But if you're 1 through 6 and you got a solid 1 through 6 and your record is ranking you 1 through 6, I think within that, I believe teams may be, juggling where they want to, land. So I don't know if it really matters if you're number 1. I mean, I think it's great, but if you're number 1, but then you can't make it to the conference finals, what is the point?
What is the point? Just to say you were number 1? Like, no. Yeah.
So 1 through 6 solid. Yes. If anybody gets 1 through 6, I'm here for it. I think it makes for good commentary if you're number 1. So for instance, if the LA Lakers make it to the number 1 seed in the Western Conference, it will be huge for them.
I think it's expected.
Okay, then it's going to be huge for them, right? However, if the Utah Jazz makes it, it's still going to be great, but that doesn't mean you're going to go deep, right? We know if the LA Lakers go deep, perhaps they may be making, I believe they'll be in the conference finals as well. But is 1 really necessary?
Well, no, if you look back, I mean, Utah Jazz were number 1 in the West, but who came out of the West though? The Phoenix Suns. Exactly. So it doesn't really matter, really. All it does is it offers you home court advantage, but
can't you get home court advantage if you are 1 through 4?
I think the first 3.
Maybe first.
I don't know that for sure.
Yeah. Somebody drop down in the comments and confirm that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, right now, I'm very uncomfortable saying whether or not the Utah Jazz will make it out of the first round. They're a great regular season team. I'm here for them. I wish Donovan Mitchell and Mike Conley and all them. I really want to see them make a deep run because when Donovan Mitchell went down with his injury,
oh my gosh,
it was devastating. It hit me the same way Jamal Murray's injury hit me. You know what I mean?
Why? You know why? Because I was anticipating the Nuggets and Jazz matchup. I wanted to see them finish, them do the matchup because I was left hanging in the bubble.
Yeah.
That was a good. Ooh,
Oh, yeah.
Some games were really good. So I am waiting for a Jazz Nuggets matchup in the postseason because I want to see Jamal Murray and Donovan Mitchell go at it again. I want to see that. So yeah.
Yeah, and I want to see Joker and Rudy Gobert get after it.
Oh, you think that's?
I think it's must-see TV because Joker will exploit Rudy Gobert, and he's a defensive player of the year. Give me a break.
He don't know where Joker gonna be on the field. He don't even know where he gonna be. I mean, Joker, well, he may be under the basket, but he may be on the perimeter as well. You don't know where he gonna pass the ball to
because he's fantastic.
He is one of the elite passers in the league right now. So yeah, I don't want none of Rudy Gobert. Don't want none of Jokic in a 7-game series.
Yeah. All right, you guys, we're gonna wrap up this episode. Make sure you drop down in the comments and let us know what you think about this. Can the Utah Jazz and the Denver Nuggets make it out of the first round of the playoffs? We will see you guys on the next one, but until then,
peace,
y'all.